The most controversial pay-per-view in WWE history will be taking place tomorrow from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, in the King Saud University Stadium, a smaller stadium than the Greatest Royal Rumble. This show was moved to a smaller stadium. This is going to be one of the lowest moments in the history of the company that they're going to this country. And it was awful the first time that they're going there, but it's even more despicable now. And I find the one thing I hate even more about this show is Renee Young going. I don't want Renee Young to be there. I don't think she should be there. And they're trying to make it like it's progress. The Russian circus went there like last year or something. A major circus in Russia. And they had women dancing in skin tight clothes. So they can do it. Just like they're not wanted there. It's a very oppressive company. They don't want women there. I don't want Renee Young there. I don't think she should be there. If anyone thinks is she in danger, guarantee you she won't be in danger. Another big note is the special guest host of the show is Hulk Hogan, which really sucks because it's Hulk Hogan. You want him to come back for a bigger deal, like to be the guest host of, maybe not another WrestleMania. He was already a guest host of one WrestleMania, but at least a big show. But Hulk Hogan, the real American, is coming back in Saudi Arabia. So Hogan's back in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, the Saudi prince wants him there. He wanted, last time they were there, the three names he wanted were Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, and Yokozuna. So, yeah, obviously we know why Hogan's going to be there. He will be making his first appearance on WWE television in, 3 years? Over 3 years now. So Hogan's back. We all knew he'd be back. I just wish, if he was going to come back, it is what it is. We all know why he's there. So going into the show, that's another thing. The company was such at an all-time high in terms of, I think, perception, maybe if that's the right word, after Sunday's Evolution show. It wasn't just that. We all knew they were just doing the Evolution show for PR, but the way they booked the show, I was really happy. I loved how they booked it. I love how they didn't limit anyone. Everyone got their own time. The woman came off all really likable. There was I think every single woman in that company is more popular now after that show. I think the show was just a lot of fun to watch. It was my favorite WWE show in a while. WWE pay-per-view. It's not as good as any of the... It's not TakeOver level, not at that level. But in terms of WWE pay-per-view, it's easily by far my favorite WWE pay-per-view I've seen this year, without question. Loved it way more than anything. Way better than WrestleMania, way better than Royal Rumble, way better than SummerSlam. I loved the show. I thought it was just great. So, with me, the company had a very favorable image after Evolution. Loved the show, and now they're doing this fucking show. So let me just get into my prediction. So this show, there's basically the World Cup tournament, which is basically the King of the Ring tournament. But they're calling it World Cup because Saudi Arabia wanted a World Cup and their enemy country got the World Cup. So Saudi Arabia wants their own World Cup. So everybody has to do this fucking fake World Cup, even though every single wrestler thinks an American and in this damn tournament. They're calling it the World Cup. Just call it the fucking King of the Ring. But I'm glad. At least they don't have to associate the great name of the King of the Ring with this show like they did to the Royal Rumble. So there we go. So, the World Cup quarterfinals, there's 2 SmackDowns, 2 Raws. Let's start with SmackDown. I think Randy Orton will beat Rey Mysterio. Even though Rey just came back, I think Randy Orton's going to win. I think Jeff Hardy will beat The Miz. He'll be more popular there. For the Raw side, I think Kurt Angle will beat Dolph Ziggler. And then the second Raw match, I think Seth Rollins will beat Bobby Lashley. Obviously, that was supposed to be John Cena's spot, but John Cena decided not to do the show, thankfully. Good for him, even though we all know has nothing to do with moral standards. John Cena's not there because it's a business decision, which I don't fault him at all. He was ripped heavily by John Oliver, I believe. So, this guy's in Hollywood now. He's got those Hollywood elites in his ear. This is not John Cena, WWE, I eat, sleep, breathe WWE. That's not who John Cena is anymore. He's been phoning it in for the last 2 years, and I'm actually really happy he's not going to be on the show, because even though I don't care for the show, even if we get we might get a decent match here or there, I'm so happy John Cena is not going to be there, because he would have fucking phoned it in. So thank you, Cena. He made a business decision, not a moral decision. It was certainly a business decision. At least we don't have to see this fucking guy phone it in. So yeah, I got Rollins over Lashley. So semifinals, I think Randy Orton will beat Jeff Hardy. I think that's where it'll come down to. Even though I think Hardy might be, I don't know. I think Orton will probably actually be more popular because I don't know how big the Attitude Era was there, but I think Orton beats Hardy. And then in the semifinals, a match. Fuck, we're gonna have to. This fucking match has to take place on this show. Seth Rollins and Kurt Angle. That's how I see it going. Maybe I'm wrong. I got Seth Rollins beating Kurt Angle in the semifinals. That's like a dream match. We have to see it on this fucking damn show. And then in the World Cup Finals, I think it comes down to Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. I think Randy Orton will beat Seth Rollins to win the World Cup, and I think he wins it because Dean Ambrose comes out, attacks Seth Rollins, and probably tries to save Renee Young. Renee. I'm sure Dean's very thrilled his wife is out there in this fucking country that despises women. You know, it wasn't, remember last show they had Carmella on a promo and they're fucking freaking out because we saw her like arms and her legs. That fucking country, Jesus Christ, freaking over Carmella. I know Renee's gonna be okay. Just if she fucking wears like she has to cover her face, she can cover her body. I don't care. She doesn't even, it's not like she wears these hot dresses to Raw every week. She like dresses pretty damn maturely. But if she has to cover like her face, I will never watch this fucking company again, I swear. But yeah, I think Dean interferes. I think Orton gets the win over Rollins and Orange World Cup champion. So I got the Bar defeating the New Day to retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I think Big Show interferes, yada yada. They're going to push the Big Show in the Bar for a while. I don't know why the Big Show has to come back, but the Big Show's back. They'll keep the titles there. I think easily the lock of the night, WWE Championship, AJ Styles beats Samoa Joe. So another big thing, John Cena made a business decision. Daniel Bryan, he made more of a moral decision. I have more respect for what Daniel Bryan did than John Cena. Daniel Bryan refused to work the show. It's being reported that it was actually more due, like the guy, he doesn't know anything about Saudi Arabia, so when he went there the first time, he was really unhappy to see what he saw, mainly because he couldn't believe that the company, that the way homosexuals are treated there, and the way women are treated there, and the way the country refused to allow Sami Zayn to perform. I think him and Sami are probably friends. I think that probably bothered him. I'd be surprised if Kevin Owens, like if he was in this position, I don't know if he'd want to work the show because him and Sam are obviously best friends. But Daniel Bryan was unhappy, and he told Vince, "I can't go back there." This thing was kept very secretive for a while. Daniel Bryan's refusing to work the show. He lost to AJ Styles cleanly on SmackDown on Tuesday, and supposedly that wasn't necessarily a punishment. Supposedly that was always the plan, was him to lose cleanly to AJ. And I think AJ would have definitely won this match anyways. So it wasn't really a punishment, but it's AJ and Joe in a match. It's just basically the piss breaker. The whole show should be a piss breaker. I don't want to see this. I hate this rivalry. I don't want to fucking see it. I'm so sick of the stuff with Joe. We all know AJ's going to win. Joe's injured, very low expectations. AJ Styles retains. So the Universal Championship. You have Brock Lesnar battling Braun Strowman. I'm going to go with Braun Strowman to win the title. Yeah, I mean, you have two huge matches. They're both on the show. The Universal title and then the tag match. Two a lot of big stars in that match. So the Universal title, we all know Roman's out. He's going to be out for a very long time. He might come back, but with his fight he's going to have to fight, it's I don't expect to see him anytime soon, so I'm expecting Braun Strowman to be the guy. I think Drew McIntyre might eventually take over because they're really high on him, but right now I think Strowman is the guy. I think Braun Strowman will beat Brock Lesnar. It wouldn't shock me if Brock Lesnar won. Vince gives him a whole bunch of money, and Brock is champ and won't get to see him, and he goes fights Daniel Cormier in the UFC while he's the Universal Champion, but he'll never know that because he would be absolutely embarrassed to admit he's still in wrestling. And show, are you kidding me? He would never let that title even come close to him around the time he's in the UFC. He'd be so embarrassed by that. So that's who you have if you're a champion, if you give it to Brock. But I think Strowman wins. So, without question, one of the main reasons I hate the show is Shawn Michaels is coming back. He's wasting one of the greatest retirements in the history of wrestling. One thing I always admired about Shawn was he was that one guy who he took that retirement to heart. He took that very seriously. He would never come back. The company reportedly, I'm sure Vince has offered him tons of money to come back, and here he's just making so much money he has to do it. But Shawn, he's been that one guy who I've always admired. He refused to go back. Ric Flair, I think part of it was Rick, because Rick came back and Shawn has lost match. I think part of it was, you know what, I don't want to be like that. I'm going to show respect to the Undertaker. Rick wouldn't show me that same respect, but it sucks he's coming back for this fucking match. It sucks. It was such an awesome retirement. I didn't want to see him wrestle anymore. I felt like this guy did everything he could. He's had just an incredible career. It was a great way to retire. He was in his mid-40s. it was a great, like, arguably the greatest performer in the history of the company. Not the biggest star, but in terms of in the ring, in the history of WWE, I think he's the best ever. I think so. In terms of great matches, he has to be number one. But it just sucks, you know. It's really coming back for this fucking show. It's a payday. It's like he's not going to care because he's going to make a shit ton of money, and the company's paying him a lot of money. He probably looks at it. He's doing them a favor too. But yeah, Shawn and Triple H, Degeneration X. I don't expect to see any crotch chops here. So Triple H and Shawn against the Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker, and Kane, also known as the mayor of Knox County, Glenn Jacobs. I think DX wins because I don't see Shawn Michaels losing in his return. This will be a nostalgic match. I really hope Kane wrestles most of the match because Undertaker looks fucking horrible. The Undertaker can't move. The Undertaker it's sad to watch this guy move. Like, why should I feel sorry for him? He's making so much fucking money. This fucking guy has been phoning it in now for the last couple of years. And he tries to have a good match here and there, but he just can't because he's fucking old as fuck and he made some bad investments and now the fucking guy needs a lot of money, so he has to fucking come back and wrestle twice a year because he makes bad fucking investments. This fucking guy. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off at Triple H fucking coming back here. Fucking, it's such full of shit. We're gonna do change. You know, one day we're gonna be the center of this fucking change. This fucking country, the government fucking murdered a fucking journalist and fucking dismembered him with a bone saw. I'm sick of them. I'm pissed off at Shawn I'm pissed off at Triple H for his comments he's made in the media about this fucking show. It's fucking annoying. Him, you know, talking about their culture. We can't offend him. I'm pissed off at Shawn Michaels for wasting his retirement. I'm pissed off at The Undertaker for fucking won't retiring and he's made some stupid investments and he has to fucking keep wrestling. I'm so fucking sick of watching this old man wrestle. And I'm pissed off at Kane, him the least. But, you know, you're the mayor of this Knox County. I'm sure the people in Knoxville, they're probably pissed off at you, Glenn. They're pissed off at you for fucking wrestling this damn match. You're going to this fucking country. It's not good for him politically. He just started his mayor run, so wouldn't it be good if it was like an election year? He just was elected, but I'm sure Knoxville's not too happy with you, Mr. Jacobs, so... My expectations are low. It's a nostalgic match. I'll be so in awe of The Undertaker. It's possible Undertaker and Kane win because Undertaker is really popular there, but I'm going to go with Degeneration X. I don't see Shawn losing his return. I think Shawn pins Kane with the Sweet Chin music, and I think this sets up Undertaker and Shawn probably at WrestleMania, which I do not want to see that fucking match. So that's your predictions. Without question, the most despicable pay-per-view of all time. I'm not looking forward to it. I'll watch it. It's just if they show propaganda, it's gonna this show is gonna cause a complete shitstorm on the internet, and they're gonna be crucified. But hey, they're paying them so much money. It's like the thing that makes it worse is Evolution. It's like the company's on such a high after Evolution. It's like it's gonna like come down to rock bottom in terms of the way they look. So it is what it is. Yeah, not looking forward to the show at all. Yeah. This is what the company does. They're paying them a lot of money, and they're just going to take Vince McMahon is just going to take the blood money.